With U.S. midterm elections coming around tomorrow, many voters are curious about policy and some people have predictions. This is Unbiased Today, and today we will be covering tomorrow's U.S. midterm election, paying attention to the party policies, polls and reactions. If you enjoy this video and want more American political news, make sure you subscribe to keep up to date. The issues that concern voters in this election are inflation, abortion, gun violence, climate change and education. Inflation has been rising in the United States since the very early months of President Biden's administration. Republicans have consistently argued that this was in large part due to Biden's economic policies that were adding large amounts of money to the national debt, including the American Rescue Plan, which added $1.9 trillion to the debt. Many Republicans have vouched to solve the inflation crisis by cutting government spending and cutting taxes, whereas the Democrats have signed into law the Inflation Reduction Act, which vouches to lower prescription drug prices and imposing new taxes on businesses and stock buybacks, and also further enforcing taxes. However, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office had estimated that this would not have a major impact on inflation, and the Conservative Tax Foundation criticized the bill, stating that it may even worsen inflation. Since Roe v. Wade was overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court in June, Democrats have argued for legislation that would protect abortion rights, whereas Republicans have pushed for legislation that bans abortion after 15 weeks of a pregnancy nationwide. The overturning of Roe v. Wade has made abortion an important factor in voting for many women, with the Democrats gaining support after the ruling. Amid many mass shootings taking place in the U.S., Democrats have pushed for legislation that would extend background checks and ending loopholes that allow gun purchasers to buy a gun without a background check. This culminated in the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which passed in June. Democrats, including President Biden, have also called for an assault weapons ban. Though some Republicans agree with background checks, though not all, many have criticized banning assault weapons, arguing that they would not have a major impact on decreasing gun violence. Many see Democrats as preferable in terms of dealing with climate change. The Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed by President Biden, is cited to be the most important legislative action to solve climate change ever passed, whereas many Republicans do not agree that climate change is one of the most important issues worth solving. Many Republicans have argued in education that sexuality and gender should not be taught to young children, which culminated in legislation being passed in several states including Florida to limit what can be taught to young children. This has been criticized by Democrats as harmful to LGBT students. Polls show that the economy was the #1 issue for voters, with healthcare and climate coming thereafter. Despite Democrats taking a lead in the early polls last month, with an average percentage score of 46% compared to Republicans' average of 45%. Most recent polls show Republicans taking the lead with an average percentage of 48.38% compared to Democrats' average of 46.68%. Joe Rogan predicted on his podcast that there would be a Republican wave.
The red wave that's coming is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
Ben Shapiro also predicted that there would be a Republican majority. Elon Musk encouraged people on Twitter to vote Republican to balance out power. What party are you rooting for? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for more news on the midterm election result.